My Dress Up Darling, episode 14. So in this episode it kicks off where I left off with everybody wondering whether Gojo and Marion were actually dating, and they they were like, nope, we're not really dating like that. We're just really close. And everybody's like, oh well, you guys are hanging out so much. It almost seems like you are. So why don't you? I mean, what guys totally should. But Gojo's like, nope, nope, we can't do that, and runs off. Kind of rejects that notion really quickly and is scared off and gets scared off. But at the same time, we can kind of see why, because right after that we see Gojo's thoughts and that he himself was like, oh, I cannot really believe that they were able to do that. They asked that, like, it's me, like it's Gojo, the weird kid that likes to paint dolls, like constantly putting himself down once again, or not realizing that people don't really view him in that way, and Marion doesn't view him in that way. But Marion can't help but feel that he rejected that notion too quickly, so she is a bit hurt by it, because obviously we've seen in at the end of season one and last episode how she actually really has feelings for Gojo and how they're continuing to grow and grow. So seeing her get rejected does make her feel like Gojo has some hate towards her, and she she kind of laments that for a bit while Gojo cleans off. And when Gojo gets back, like, Marion's no longer there, and she's kind of been, looks like at first that she was being hit on by two other guys. So when Gojo saw that Marine was with two other people, he instantly went to her rescue and was like, no, 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 you cannot do that to her. Just do whatever you want to me, but not her. And one of the guys was like, oh, I think you completely got that mistaken. We're like hairstylists. So Gojo was like, oh, like, really shy about it and really self conscious about it. It's like, oh, I can't believe I just did that. And Marion was like, oh, he did that to protect me. Like, she instantly noticed that he was protective towards her, and that kind of like waned her mind that, oh, he hates me. This is more seems like he just wants to be around her and wants to keep her safe. And just that thought alone was like enough for her to like give him a kiss behind the behind the neck, or like on the side of his neck. And Gojo thought she clicked her tongue at him. It's like, you're mad at me, and she's like, nope, no, it's not. So he's like, okay, if you didn't click my tongue at me, what was that noise? And Marin instantly gets flustered. So it's like, no matter what, like, Marin can't win against Gojo. She is too over heels for him. Anything he does is just gonna cause her to get flustered. And Gojo this she pick Gojo picks up on it, and on the fact that she's flustered, tries to see if she's getting sick. And at that point, she does sniff. It's like, maybe I'll get sick, and she does. She does come to school the next day, so Gojo tries to reach out to her, and there's no reply for like hours, which to him is very concerning, because Marine's not the type of person to just completely ignore him. She's not the type of person that, if anything was if nothing was wrong, she wouldn't get back to you. So this just got Gojo more freaked out, and eventually he does end up leaving school after a certain amount of time, right before it ends, and picks up some medicine and some food for her, and goes to see her. And we see him start taking care of her by, like, first he grabs her clothes to change into, which really funny when he picks up one of the clothes from one of her former cosplays, and it's kind of lewd, and he's just like, well, you can put your own clothes on real quick. And he starts prepping dinner, and he feeds her, and she was really glad that he came. Like, she fell into complete tears that somebody cared enough for her to check up on her, to stay there with her. And make sure she was doing okay, make sure she ate, make sure she got her medicine. And as Gojo was about to like rinse all the food, she grabs onto him and it's like, Gojo, can you stay a little longer? Can you don't go? And you could really see that Marin really trusts Gojo in that moment because she's completely helpless, and she confided in Gojo to like stay with her, and she's forever grateful for him. So after all that, like after her even her own sickness kind of dies down a bit, she she then gets visited by her friends from school, and Gojo is like, "Oh, I'm here alone with you. Like I realize that I'm alone with you. I don't want them to think anything wrong of the situation. So his best course of action, he feels like, is to hide from them. So he goes to the balcony and tells Martin, you know what, just I'll wait out here till they're gone, and then we can carry on. And Marion is she's not completely fully well, but she does get why Gojo did that. But she was like, you could have just stayed. I mean, I'm sick. They wouldn't have said anything. Like that's what she said under her breath. Uh, but Gojo stays in the balcony and ends up getting sick himself for some amount of time. And then we go to the next like cosplaying event that they're going to, where she dresses up as one of her as her former cosplay from the first season, and she actually meets the same photographer from the first season, and they bond a bit about how she encouraged her to take more photos, and now she's out here in this event taking more photos with a new camera, and it was just great. You got to see the uh, full cycle kind of play into effect, like how Marine is essentially inspired by certain cosplayers, and then she cosplayed herself and inspired somebody else to continue chasing her own kind of like ideal. So I do like that they have this kind of thing going on in this anime where one person's skill helps another person have a sense of value in their own worth and be able to really pursue what they're truly happy doing. And then they meet this one person that is in a cosplay, and they think it's a her he he decides that to tell them that he's a boy because they were trying to fix one of his dresses, and he was dressed as this girl from this one video game or something. And yeah, he tells them, "Yeah, I'm a dude," and shows some like stuff about former cosplays he's done. And one of them really sticks out to Gojo because he's like, "Oh, I don't know how exactly you pulled this off, dude." It's like, and it's a girl with like big boobs, and it's like, "Oh, that's easy. I can show you where to get them. It's fine." And then they're like, "Huh? Really? You can just go out and get them?" And it's like, "Yeah, let's go." And another thing that was really interesting is that this was this guy's first like big cosplay event, so he didn't really have an idea of what was happening. And then it kind of reminded me a bit of like Gojo and Marin's first cosplay event, where they were not like fully prepared. It was the same case with this guy, but now instead of being the ones that have to get helped out, they're the ones that help out this person. So once again, another kind of full circle moment. And no, yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I just really love how Marine is growing closer and closer to Gojo. Like everything Gojo does just is building points for him, and everything Marine sees in Gojo, he'll eventually see in himself, and that's what I'm most looking forward to seeing this season. And I think this episode is a 8 out of 10.